So me 53 male and my wife, Rose 53 female, had our older daughter, Sarah 31 female, when we were 22. We were young and broke, but managed, and now we raised Sarah the best we could. She got pregnant at 15. It was a very depressing time for her. She had to go to therapy, and never told us anything about the father, which always upset her, so we never pushed the issue. She originally wanted to terminate, but kept canceling, and eventually told us she wanted to give her up for adoption. But 5 months into the pregnancy, when she was discussing with a social worker for a couple to adopt, the couple dropped out of the adoption. After trying to find more couples, Sarah asked us if we wanted to adopt. Me and Rose were both 38 at this point, and we had both been discussing having another child, so we ended up adopting our daughter Ellie when Sarah had her at 16. 2 years after Ellie, me and my wife had our son Logan, 13, biologically. Growing up, we always planned on telling Ellie she was adopted, but we knew with telling her that we had to tell her Sarah was her bio mother. Sarah never became close with Ellie, not even as sighters. She moved out after the birth and lived with Rose's sister. She has always shown sisterly love to her Logan, but never towards Ellie. There has always been conflicting feelings with Sarah. I have seen posts on Sarah's Instagram where she posted a picture of what was supposed to be the 5 of us, but Ellie was cut out. I confronted her about this, and she says it's too painful. However, a couple years ago, she showed up drunk, begging us to let us see her daughter. We talked to her and let her stay, but did not let her near Ellie since she was drunk. We found out from her husband she had suffered several miscarriages and was told to consider a surrogate. She ended up doing that 4 years ago and has since had twins Jack and Jill, 3M and F, who are biologically hers. Ellie has loved being an aunt to the twins, and Sarah has encouraged this with Ellie, and has been inviting Ellie over her house for family time with Logan, who loves being an uncle. We have asked Sarah that in light of the twins and Ellie being close to them, wouldn't it be time to tell Ellie the truth, but Sarah keeps claiming she is not ready. Recently Ellie came to us and has told us she is pregnant. This time, it is a completely different situation. We have met the father. He is a childhood friend of hers, and they decided they wanted to lose their virginities to each other. We had the talk with Ellie long ago, as we did with Sarah. We approached the situation calmly and have since met with the father and his parents. Ellie is insistent on keeping the baby. She is 3 months along. We have not told Sarah yet. We do not know how to approach the situation. We don't know how she will be able to take it. Me and my wife are considering telling Ellie the truth, but we need Sarah to be there. Update. So I decided to write in an update as I'm still getting messages on this account. First, I want to address the main issue. I was wondering about advice on what to do after finding about my daughter Ellie 15 is pregnant, but that we had the exact same situation with her older sister Sarah 31, who is actually Ellie's biological mother. Well, I decided to just focus on helping out Ellie, who is 4 months pregnant. We didn't want to stress her out by telling her about the adoption yet. In fact, we know we should have already told her a long time ago. Despite Sarah's emotions on the matter, it's not like we even knew the details on Ellie's father. So that would have been Sarah's talk. But we as Ellie's parents still should have told her the truth when she was younger. A week after I made the post, Ellie told family about the pregnancy. She had since told my parents, her boyfriend's grandparents, and then of course, she has told Sarah. Sarah didn't react well, but told her she would support her. Of course, Sarah reached out to us after, very upset, but said she was ready to talk to Ellie. First about the adoption with us, and she said that she wanted to tell Ellie about her father alone. We sat down and had the discussion. Ellie was of course upset, but calmed down after a while. She of course had questions about her father. Sarah had that discussion with her. At the time I didn't know what she was told, and it was none of our business, but Ellie told us she knows who he is and said she didn't want to reach out, so we moved on after that. The other day, I got a call from my sister-in-law, Renee 31 female, my brother's wife. She was angry and was asking what kind of sick ideas was Sarah putting in Ellie's head. She started mentioning stuff about Ellie's adoption, so after I got her to calm down, she told me what happened. She claimed that Ellie had messaged my brother Ethan 32 and told him about the adoption and wanted to talk to him. This confused me because me and Ethan don't talk much. We were never really close because we are 21 years apart. He was my mother's late child, and he always got along with mine and our sister's kids, as they were all around the same age, and Ellie only saw him on the holidays, so telling him about the details in her life didn't make sense. Renee explained to me that Ellie claimed that Ethan was her father because that is what Sarah had told her and told him that he was going to be a grandpa. I had to sit down for a while. I called Sarah, and we had a long conversation. She told me that yes, it was true that Ethan is Ellie's biological father. Sarah and Ethan were close when they were young. They were only 8 months apart. Sarah says that when they went thought puberty feelings changed and that every time she went to her grandmother's, they would hide away from everyone and have their own time. Sarah was upset talking about this, but told me that he never assaulted her and that it was always consensual. She never wanted to tell me because she was ashamed of the fact that the father of her baby was her uncle. I have since talked to Ethan as well. He denied it to Ellie over text, but told me that it was true. We exchanged a few words back and forth. Even if this was consensual, how could he sleep with his own niece? He had all these, but I wasn't hearing it. He knew of the pregnancy and being Ellie's father the whole time, and he never even bothered to step up to say anything. I have talked to Ellie about it. She says she was upset when she found out, but she always thought she looked like my stepdad's side of the family. It upset me when she mentioned that because honestly I see it, it's pretty obvious now. I always knew that Ellie favored whoever her father was because she didn't look like anyone on our side, but I never suspected Ethan. My mother and stepdad have found out, and Ethan told Renee it was true. She has left with their kids to stay with her family. Ethan has tried to reach out to Ellie now, but I don't want her speaking to him. I'm still her father, and I don't think she is safe being in touch with him. Ellie has shown no interest in talking. I asked her why she reached out to him before talking to Sarah or us about it, and she said she just wanted to know his side of the story, but feels betrayed for being lied to. Story 2. OP has to deal with an absentee co-parent. As a single mother, I try my absolute best to co-parent with my daughter's father. He always makes plans to come and spend the day with her. Then he'll no-show. No calls, no texts, zero communication. When he does decide he wants to be a parent, he'll stay with her for maybe 2 hours, then bring her back because she's too difficult to handle. If I ask why he didn't show up last time, he'll say she's so young. She doesn't know that I broke a promise to her. Yes, she is young, 1.5-year-old. I know in the long run, she'll see a pattern. Each time I get a nice photo of her, I always send it to him and his family. He will then make a social media post bragging about being the best dad ever. He then receives all this praise. World's best dad. She's so lucky to have an incredible father. If only there were more great dads like you. It really just grinds my gears that he can take credit for something he isn't. Sorry for my rant. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. First update. Not too long ago, I made a post about absent parents. My fellow co-parent wasn't at all pulling his weight, however claimed to be the best dad ever. Last night things came to a head when he once again no-showed to pick up our daughter. When I reached out to see if he'd be picking her up, he said, "Nah, don't feel like it." I replied with a thumbs up, clearly done with this. An hour later, I was tagged in a social media post. The post goes on to say that I won't let him see his kid, that this is why men end themselves, that he has rights too. I'm sure you get the gist. I was beyond furious, so I took every screenshot that I've taken of canceled/no shows and posted it to his post. I made sure last night's was the first to go up. I then added to it that I'm not the one stopping him. The only one stopping him is himself. His post was deleted about 5 minutes later. The damage was already done. His sisters are reaching out to apologize. His friends are reaching out to say it's a low blow. And others are messaging me to apologize for not asking for my side. Overall, I'm done having a difficult co-parent. Our next custody reevaluation is going to be interesting. Second update. Hello all. I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who has commented and messaged me on my last post. It's been a wayward couple of weeks since I last posted. 3 days after I posted, my co-parent messaged me. He called me all sorts of names, cried that I exposed him, told me it'll be my fault when he ends himself, and then at the end of his message turned around and told me he hoped my life ends in the most painful way possible. To this I didn't reply. A few days after, he asked for pictures of our daughter, after no showing for his planned visit again. My only reply was, if you'd like a picture of her, you best come and spend some time with her, to which I got abused for it. This has been happening since. I've also copped a lot of abuse from his new girlfriend. She has also been coming to my place of employment to cause trouble. She has since been sent a cease and desist letter. This seems to have scared her off. Today was our court day. I had all the screenshots/receipts printed and ready to go. I have been granted 100% custody. The judge felt that he wasn't mentally in the right frame of mind to be able to take adequate care of our child. He blew up at the judge for this. Co-parent went as far as to say to the judge, "I hope you can sleep at night, knowing you've killed someone." He was given a last warning that if he spoke out again, he'd be in contempt of court. Co-parent ended up being taken out of the court, and he's been held. From what his mom has said, he will be going into a mental health facility. One of his sisters believes that he's been taking some hard drugs since we've been broken up. Hopefully being in a facility will help him get clean. Co-parent can have strict supervised visits. It was suggested that I have someone with me when he has visits. The text about my death was a worry. I have stood by my word and even told the courts that he is welcome to come and see our child anytime. I'd just like a heads up beforehand. All our communication needs to be done through text email. This wasn't a problem for me. This was also heavily discussed by the court. This will hopefully be the end of all the bad things that have come. I truly hope he gets the help he needs so he can be the dad our girl deserves. Thank you everyone once again. I hope you all stay safe.